I'm Benita Story, also known as the Fiber Pusher. If you watched my video on sun tea dyeing of, black walnut, cherry hardwood, alkanet, and Osage orange, this is the beginning of the second part of that. Especially this is the second part for the black walnut and the cherry hardwood. These are two dyes I've never even seen anybody using before, so this is a total experiment. But what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be doing the stovetop method for those, and to see if we can get better color than we did with the sun tea method. So that's what I'm going to be working on today, and I will be right back and show you what we're doing. So I'm getting ready to do the stovetop method dyeing for the black walnut and the cherry hardwoods, but because I let them soak overnight in a, basically this is a quart jar, well, it is a quart jar, it's no basically, having the men's hankies to put everything in, it's not going to hold it all. So what I did is I just bought some white muslin. I have scoured this, but I have not mortoned it or anything. I have some more that I do want to morton, just because I think it would be fun. But anyways, I cut out a largest square. I mean, this is probably 18 by 18 in order to contain everything that's in the quart jar. So let's go ahead and get that started. Now this here has just soaked in water overnight. The bowl I chose was too shallow, so I ended up trading it over to a deeper bowl. So that's something I have to keep in mind in the future. And then, like I did with the little sun tea tea bags, I guess, is I'm just going to pull this up and tie this off using just a piece of string. Now you can see why I went for a larger piece of cloth. So I'm going to go and put this into the dye pot. I am going to let it come up to a boil. Since this is a dark brown, I'm going to go ahead and let it come up to a total boil. And I'm going to let it boil for about an hour before I add in the fiber. So let me go take care of that, and then I will also get the cherry, do the same thing with it, and put it in its pot and let it dye, or let it. I probably won't let the cherry come up to a boil because a lot of times heat will break down any red colors you get. So I probably will at least bring it up to 140 degrees-ish and hold it there for an hour before I put the fiber in. So let me go take care of that, and when I put the fiber in, I will bring you back into the picture. The cherry has been boiling for about an hour now, and I am getting some nice colors. They're kind of a goldy yellows. Of course, we'll see what they look like once they're rinsed out. I did add in the one that was soaking in water for the sun tea bath, just to give it some more. I mean, it's not got that much. It's like 20 something grams in here, so it's not adding that much, but I figured I might as well go ahead and put it in there. I mean, look at that color. Isn't that gorgeous? I can't wait to see what that rinses out like. That's alum. Let's see what some of the others are doing. And the cottons and the linens and stuff aren't brilliant. Let's see what we got with silk. Ooh, look at that gorgeous piece of fabric. Sorry. Well, I'm going to probably take this off and let it cool for a while. We'll see what it is once it's rinsed. Well, I'm not real happy with the color I'm getting with the walnut. I mean, it's not very dark, even though there's lots of color in there. And I actually added in, that bag up there is the sun tea dye that was in the water. And so there's no, obviously, different chemical or anything in here. And it's been boiling for about an hour, and I'm just not happy with the color I'm getting. So I'm actually going to add in the Everclear jar and let it boil for a while. And then I'm going to add in the isopropyl alcohol jar and see if adding those extra tea bags and stuff like that will help bring out some more color. But I'm not real thrilled with what I'm getting with the black walnut. So we have now completed the first 2 dye pots. That's gone from the alcohol experiments to the stovetop. And what I've completed now is the black walnut and the cherry sawdust. Now, I've not seen anybody do any natural dyeing with either of these materials. And so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it. I wanted to see what would happen. And so, I mean, with walnut, when you see black walnut, it's the hull. It's the skin or whatever around the nut that is green and then turns black and then, you know, rots and falls off. So this is not that. This is actually sawdust that was supplied to me by Shepherd's Woodworking, and I'll put a link to them in the fiberpusher.com website, so you can get some for yourself. But let's look at the black walnut first. Okay. So remember, this is what we got with the sun tea method. Now, mind you, it's a nice little brown. It's a nice tan. Obviously, you need light colors for projects and everything. Not everything can be dark, otherwise your value it looks awful and you can't see the design. So every once in a while, you do need something. And these are pretty. This one here is the Everclear. This is the water, and this is the 91% alcohol. 91% isopropyl alcohol. They're a pretty color, but they're pale. And I used 1-to-1. So these here, I think I want to say these were 28 grams total, and I used 28 grams, obviously, of the sawdust. So anyways, that's from the sun tea method. Now let me show you what happened when I cooked it. So let's start with, let's see. This is wool, mortoned in copper. Isn't that lovely? Look at that gorgeous fabric. So I really, really am pleased with this color. I can see me using this color for a lot of things. It's a brown that's got some yellow to it. It's just a really, really nice, pretty color. So that's copper. This is alum. Now, it's lighter than the copper, and it's actually slightly different color. This here, I think, has more yellow in it than this does. This definitely is more brown, but it's definitely darker than doing the sun tea. So cooking it actually did bring out more colors. Now, this was 1-to-1. This was 1 point... I don't know how much was left over in the bags from the sun tea, because it wasn't getting the color that I wanted in the pot. So obviously I mentioned that I added the others. So by the time you've used these in a sun tea pot, I'm going to say it's 1.2 maybe to 1. But I still think the heat brought out the color the most. So that's alum. And this is the tin. So again, it's darker. The tin, I think, is definitely darker than the alum. Well, is it? It is a tad bit darker. Just a tad. Let's look at the fabrics. Oh yeah, the tin fabric is definitely darker than the alum fabric. Which, then you got the copper fabric. I love dyeing fabrics. I mean, aren't these wool fabrics gorgeous? Definitely could see things to use these for. So those are the wools. Now, in the dye pots, if you remember, I actually have more than just wool in there. I have silk and cotton and linen. So let's look at a few of those. This is where I think I got a little disappointed. Okay, so these are the 2 linens. This is the linen that was mortoned with the tannin and then the aluminum acetate, and this is the one that was just the aluminum acetate. It did not pick up the color nearly as well as the linen did. And even in the yarn, there's a huge difference between the two. Really, the linen barely picked up any color at all. So that was a disappointment, but it told me something, that at least with this, you need to definitely mordant it with the tannin and the aluminum acetate to get the colors to come out. So there's that. Now let's look at the cotton. The cotton is pretty much the same as the linen. Here's the tannin aluminum acetate. Here's the aluminum acetate only. There is a slight, I'm almost going to say a slight purpley cast to the one that's just aluminum acetate, where the one with the tannin and aluminum acetate definitely has more browns in it. But yeah, the aluminum acetate only did not do well with this one. So anyways, there's that. Now let's look at the silk. Okay, so here's the silk with the copper. That is, oh boy, this is the China silk. And then this is the yarn. Remember how at the end of the video that I showed you on how to mordant silk, that I was really kind of concerned about the copper having turned the dye pot brown? It's not the color that I had anticipated. I mean, I thought it would be a little bit more toward the greens, but like I said, I've never done black walnut Hardwood before. So anyways, that's the copper. This is the tin. If I can get it untangled here. This is the tin, which compared with the copper is a slightly different color. And then here's the alum, which kind of looks about the same color as the tin does here. I mean, I really can't tell a difference between them. So that's the silk. And so that takes care of what we got done with the black walnut. My conclusion on the black walnut is it does make lovely browns. Definitely do it on pre-mortanted wool, especially the copper. The copper's gorgeous. Of course, the tin and the alum do look nice. But I'm wondering if I'm going to have to redo the experiment and put in like 300% weighted goods to get a nice dark brown out of it, or I leave the dark brown to the walnut hulls and use this with it, because they're both walnut. And I'll be honest with you, I'd like to see the comparisons between the hulls and the Hardwood to see how it works and everything. So, and with of course the walnuts, you can't do like weighted goods type of thing, because it's the hull and there's a lot of moisture and everything in it, and then you soak it, so you're actually going to be using it in a different way. Would I do the black walnut dye again? Yes, because I like the browns I got out of it, especially on the wool. Would I do it with the others? Probably not. Would I sun tea it again? Probably not. I mean, I could probably get that color just by, like, I've got the first set of the dye pot. If I were to put a second set of wool in the dye pot, I probably could get that color. So, no, I wouldn't sun tea it again. But I definitely would use it for wool and for pre-mortanted wool, like I said, especially the copper. It is a lovely color. So, now let's go ahead and look at the cherry Hardwood. Now, usually when you dye cherry, you dye the inner bark. And matter of fact, I've got an experiment going with that right now with the sun teas. I did, of course, the sun teas with the Hardwood, and these are the colors that I got. Just as a reminder, this is the isopropyl alcohol, this is the water, which were essentially the same, and then the Everclear gave a slightly orangier. So I ended up soaking the materials in the Everclear, hoping to bring out the oranges. Let me show you what I got. Let's start with the wool. Okay, let's start with, this is alum. Gosh, look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, look at this compared to this. I mean, night and day difference. The cherry Hardwood you've got to heat up. It's just lovely. And look at that on the tin pre-mortanted. Now what I've done here is I have some pre-mortanted ones that I did a long time ago. And so we've got natural, and this is Shetland, and then we had a tan, and then we had a gray, because I wanted to see how it looked over-dyed natural colors. And so it does shift the colors a little bit. I really like it over the tan, because that's when it really brought out the reds. But isn't that a gorgeous, gorgeous color? And that is the alum. So, I think I'll show you the copper next. The copper. Isn't that, look at that. Isn't it just a nice, good red-brown? I mean, I like the yellow browns and everything because they do have their uses, but this is such a gorgeous, warm color. This just reminds me of chocolate. A really good milk chocolate. Yeah, I just think this is gorgeous. And then, of course, it's funny compared with the alum. Yes, this has, I don't know, it's just funny because this here seems to have more reds in it than the alum does. So now, let's look at the tin. Oh my gosh, look at that. Isn't that amazing? I mean, I got 3 different colors here. I've got this here with the tin, we got this with the copper, and we got this with the alum. This is definitely a winner on wool. Now, I'm going to be doing, but all of the dyes, eventually, I'm going to be doing iron afterbaths. And so I did 2 alums basically so that I can re-wet it, soak it later, and then do an iron afterbath. So that's going to become later. But isn't that stunning? Oh my gosh. I love, 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 love the cherry heartwood on wool. Oh my gosh. So yeah, that one I will definitely be doing again. Let's look how it did on, now the silk, I have to admit, I was a little disappointed with. But again, I was disappointed with the silk of the others. So I don't know if it's the silk. And it could be the silk, because I was concerned about it when I was Mortoned it, because I didn't like the colors that the pots turned. They all just turned dark. So here's the alum, which is a nice brown. And then here is the copper. Which is a different brown. It's a little darker. And here's the tin. Like the black walnut, I really can't tell a whole lot of difference between the tin and the alum. Okay, the tin actually looks a little brighter, so I will give it that. It does look brighter. But again, I'm not necessarily sure I'm happy with the tin. So let's look at the linens and everything, and the cottons. Alrighty. This is where pre-Morton tea with the tannin and aluminum acetate comes into its own. Guess which one's the tannin and aluminum acetate, and guess which one's only the aluminum acetate? Tannin aluminum acetate. Now I heard that while this is quicker, this gives you the better color. And so far, 100%, having the tannin and the aluminum acetate, yes, it's one extra step, but it is so much richer color. I just am thrilled. Even look at the linen thread. Oh my. And then let's look at the cotton. Again, tannin aluminum acetate only. Huge difference. I mean, there is color on this. It's not white anymore, but it's not, there is a slight peachy pinky color to the yarn. The fabric itself, it's just a little duller than white. But I love the tannin aluminum acetate. So I know I'm going to be doing all the dye experiments showing both, just because I want that comparison, because I'm assuming that not all of them are going to be this way, or they wouldn't have the recommendation of just doing aluminum acetate only. They would say always do tannin aluminum acetate. So there's got to be a reason. I just haven't, out of these 2 dyes, come across that reason yet. So anyways, that's the conclusion with those 2. And I'll tell you something, I am very happy with both of them, especially on the wool. And the cherry bark also got from Shepherd's Woodworking. I will put that in the, it's the fiberpusher.com website. I'll give you a link to their shop and everything. But yes, definitely on wool. Both of those are really worth it, especially that cherry. And it's really funny because you look at the cherry sawdust and it's got some color in it, but it's not got a whole lot of color. Where the black walnut sawdust was brown, I mean a good dark brown. So you can't really go by the color of the sawdust. You have to do the experiments. And that's what I'm here to do. So that's the results of the first experiment. And let's on for the next.